Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good time and a good summer, if it's summer when you're watching this. Um, I am making time to get back on track with a project I began last winter, and I've been going back and forth on it. Oh my God, what colors I use. These don't work. I got a whole plate full of colors that I don't want to use for this project, so why don't I just use up those colors with other things? So I will do a screen share and show you what that plate looks like now. And it's basically mostly this, which is, I'll show you what I began. I began with a netted piece, backed with another netted piece. I wanted to have that show through. Netting is a canvas, kind of, so to speak, in some ways. And and it's basically something that, a ground for embellishment. So what I am doing with this is that I'm going to, this is about half of the necklace, not counting what I'm going to put overlay on it. And this is the original piece I started with. I thought it was too wonky at first. Now I like it, so I might put it on the other half of the piece. I also added this piece recently, and yes, that was on purpose right here, because nothing was stopping me from putting an extra bead on. Um, and again, these are pieces that are going to have things added to them. Now, the question of adding to them was a fraught one. I started with this. Let's give this for some context. I was going to put this opal white color hand on top of it. Then I started adding some of that color. It didn't sit right with me, so I stopped doing it. And when I ended up with bead soup, I kind of like this, only with these in there. I wanted to eliminate these from the bead soup, so I beaded them till they were gone. This is right angle weave, and I purposely tweaked it so that it's not regular, because regularity to me is good when it's good, but not necessary when it's not necessary. So hence the purposeful skewing of it. I like skewing. My next idea was to continue this with this kind of color theme. This is a little more greenish yellow. This is a little more orange yellow. And I liked it until I didn't like it. So guess what I did with it? I had to get rid of those beads, the rest of those beads on the plate. Now, years and years ago, I made a piece at the behest of a friend who was just, her only question was, can you make something that fits in a 2 by 2 inch square about that big? Well, I made something, I'd have to dig it out. Basically, I made something along these lines, something that's really frothy. I want to explain what it is. And I had other color, these were other colors that I had in there that I didn't want to add to this color. So what I decided to revisit the thing that I did, which it's basically right angle weave, except it's not right angle weave. It's done in the same manner as right angle weave, which is really a figure eight and adding to a figure eight over and over. In other words, the way you add on and pass through beads is in a circle, and then that circle changes direction and goes into another circle, and then you're doing figure eights. Well, this is the same motion, but with two important differences. I'm starting with 5 beads, not 4 or a multiple of 4. In this case, I started with 12 beads, so there are 3 beads on each side, 4 sides. This has 5 sides. This has 5 sides. This has 5 sides. And I'm doing it in a circular fashion. So I start with 5 in the middle. I do 5 off of that. I do another 5 off of that. I do another 5 off of that. but for a total of 5 times. And I keep doing those little figure eights in a circular fashion. These are the figure eights going back and forth, just like typing on a sheet of paper or writing words down on a sheet of paper. This is done in the round, flat round, except not flat, not for long. For a while, it'll stay flat. And then, well, because you're adding a whole bunch of beads, you're adding 5 beads, not 4, it doesn't stay flat. And it kind of suddenly doesn't stay flat. This one has less repeats on it, but so it's a little flatter. But that's what happens when you do right angle weave, except it's not right angle weave really, because you're doing 5 angles, not 4. So that's a fun one. I can make a video showing you a video of me doing that. I might even, as a sample for I might do this in bugle beads. This is the same weave as these, all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 is different. It's all bugles. But see how there's a pentagon, a peaceful pentagon, let's say. I'm putting on 5 beats each time. So if you right angle weave is a love it or hate it stitch. If you don't hate it and you love it, this might be a fun thing to try, an interesting thing to try. One thing about it is that when you're doing this in bugles, it's easier to follow. When you're doing this in seed beads, rounds, tiny ones, it's harder to follow. And it's easy as the rows start to get really wiggly, it's hard to keep track of what bead you're supposed to go into next. But the nice thing is, it kind of doesn't matter because it looks cool either way. So if you miss something that you were supposed to do, nobody's gonna like hold you to it, or at least I'm not. So before I go, I want to show you a couple things, other things I did. Just this with bugle beads, and this, which I might probably will still use. I might use this in this necklace piece. The theme of the necklace has to do with universal outer space stuff, planets and asteroids and meteors and comets and such. So that might make it, or I might change the colors up and do the same pieces in different colors. The last 2 things I want to show you are these 2. And again, this is utterly freeform. I started with that quasi right angle weave, pentangle weave, I guess I could call it, here and here, and then I got bored. Boredom is good. What do you do when you're bored? You do something different. As John Lydon says, if you don't like what you're doing, stop doing it and do something else. So I stopped doing this round thing. I thought, okay, I already know what this is going to turn into. Why don't I turn it into something else? And I thought, oh, I've got these bugle beads on my plate. I've got these other beads I want to use up because I don't want to use them in the other piece. So why don't I do this and this and this and this? So that was fun. And I might turn these into a pair of purposely not matching earrings. I might make them wearable as earrings, and no, they don't have to match. Guess what happens? I'll show you what happens when you make earrings that don't match. They look cool. They don't have to match if you don't want them to. You're the boss. If you want matching earrings, make matching earrings. If you don't want matching earrings, you don't have to match your earrings. That's the beauty of creativity. Be spontaneous. It's a lot more fun. I recommend it. And honestly, I don't want to go on a soapbox here, but try thinking for yourself once in a while. It won't kill you. It's a lot more fun. Um, I understand wanting to have a known outcome when you bead. However, if that, which is great, do that if you like it. If you get a little antsy sometimes, or you want to tweak something, or you're just there to try something out and screw around and maybe find something out that you didn't expect to learn, try messing around. It is possible to make freeform beadwork, as you might call it, um, that looks like somebody just barfed up a bunch of beads. And there are ways to avoid that. And I can also give recommendations. I think I have already in other videos, but I recommend if you're going to get a really busy with pattern, be simple with color. If you're going to be really crazy with color, be simple with pattern. That's a good general rule that I sometimes try to follow. So I hope you enjoyed this update. I hope you spend the summer and into the fall and forever and ever otherwise beating and discovering and creating and learning and having fun doing this. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back with more goodies for you to check out and hopefully learn with and from. And I'll see you next time. Oh, now I have to find out where the stop button is. So, um, so yes, I'll leave this on a happy beating kind of note, and I will see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye.